and see if anybody comes on. It usually takes it just a minute. So I'm going to straighten up my computer and everything. All right, it looks like it's going live good. Make sure my sound is good. All right, it looks like it's going live good. Make sure my sound is good. All right. It looks like we're live. We're good. Everything's set up. Awesome. Great. And today I'm just going to crochet. We're good. Everything's set up. Awesome. Great. And today I'm just going. So let's get this started. I need to catch up for a craft fair that is not. Let me think. Yeah, not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after that. So I'm trying to make a whole bunch of my chicken plushies because those seem to be a hit. And also, I have a couple little homestead farm updates for y'all, which is going to be nice. And y'all get to see what that is towards the end of the live stream if you stick with me. And I'll kind of repeat that phrase later. But basically, the update is that we have duck eggs now. It's going to be a farm mix, and so we're not sure exactly what breed they are or how they'll turn out, but we get to find out. We'll get to see how that goes. So that'll be fun. There we go. And the update is, now that I got a few people on here, so maybe they can hear it, we again have some duck eggs and we're waiting on them to hatch. I don't know exactly what day they'll hatch because we got them from a farm swap and they weren't exactly sure how old they are. You know, they were obviously less than 2 weeks, but you can't exactly calculate. So basically, they're supposed to hatch 28 days from being laid and in the incubator. So hopefully by early June, we will have some duck babies. So that's going to be fun and a new little thing to see. And there's 30 of them, so obviously we're not going to keep all of them. We're going to see if somebody else wants them. They can do that. Or we'll probably keep a couple of them just to have a couple, a male and a female. But 30 would just overrun our yard. So we have to be careful with that. As much as I love animals, you have to be wise in your decision making about how many you have and how many you can take care of. And I know beyond a shadow of doubt, I could not handle 30 ducks. So hopefully I can run a little live for y'all while they hatch, because we have 2 incubators, one that's running in another room and one that's running in my office. And I can do the live in my office pretty easily because I try to keep it kind of closed off, just due to it having my craft supplies and things in it. So maybe y'all can see that. What do y'all think? Would y'all like to do that? Let me know in the chat. Also, is my audio doing good? Can y'all let me know? I had trouble with it with the last live I did. and I did not know until I uploaded it. There we go. Cool. What are you making? All with Life says, I'm making a chicken plushie, and I wish I had one on me. There's one in my car. So I guess if you really wanted to see it, I could run out and go get it real quick. But basically, I'm going to do a few more rows of it, and you close it off like this, and you put a little comb on it, and make a little face on it. Let's see if I can find. Unfortunately, I don't have a full one made. I just made a whole bunch of this part. I think I have a couple of pictures on my thumbnail, so maybe we can see one like that. I do need to grab a whole one and have it on the desk because there's been a lot of people asked to see them. Three, one. Okay. Okay, I will go look at your channel. Yeah, absolutely do that, please. So yeah, what do y'all think? Do y'all want to live with the duck eggs hatching? Because it's actually a really cool thing to watch. Now, it is kind of a slow process, so I probably won't start it from the very beginning, but I could probably catch it, just a little bit before the first one starts hatching, if that makes sense. What do y'all think? All right, Allie with Live says, I just saw one. It's so cute. Thank you. Yeah, people seem to really like them. I was so glad when I learned how to make them. And I'm trying to remember. I think the person who makes the pattern, their Etsy shop, it's an Etsy shop, and it's a very famous crochet pattern, especially for people who like chickens. I think it's called, Oak Farm or Live Oak or something like that. You can look up chicken crochet plushie tutorial or pattern on Etsy, and it's one of the first ones you see. And it's I think it has oak or something like that in its name. I can't remember the full name right now. I'm pretty sure I tagged the pattern in one of my earlier shorts. It was actually me making the chicken for Christmas markets, and several people were asking for the pattern. I think I tagged it in the comments of that video. So it would have been back from December. If you look back on my channel, you'll see it. There we go. Oh, and I have to make a little video update on the kittens we have. They are growing so much, and they're pretty much off their mom now, so they're eating regular cat food a little bit more now. They're so cute. They're little orange kittens, so they look like little cheese puffs running around the yard. My daughter has come up with all kinds of names for them all, but I just walk around calling them all cheese puffs. All right. All with life. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I've been summoned to dinner. Okay. Well, have a good time. Hope it's good. Bye. Thank you for joining me. Go. And I need to also make a whole bunch of the combs that goes on top of these chickens too. We're actually almost done with this one. We've only got one more row to go. Maybe I can make a full one on this video. I think I can actually. I might have enough time to do it. Would y'all like me to do that? Because usually once I'm done making this part, that's the longest part there is. Go. 1, 2, decrease. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and make a full chicken plushie right on here. So y'all can actually see how it turns out. Because once I do this part, I make the comb and then I sew on the face. And then I put the stuffing in it, sew it up, put it all together. And it's not that hard of a process usually after this part. 1, 2. And if y'all hear a rooster crowing in the background, I'm sorry. He's been crowing all morning long. It seems like he crows even more whenever it's bad weather. I don't know what that's about, but thank goodness it's calmed down a little bit. We had warnings in our pretty much this whole area. And I'm very thankful it did not hit where I live, because there's a lot of older trees on my property where I stay, and that would not be fun. So thank goodness storm didn't get too bad over here. All animals are safe, family's safe, it's all good. I'm very, very thankful and happy that turned out good. All right, and I'm done making this part. So all I gotta do is make the little comb and sew on the face. And just break it apart. That's the nice thing about the fuzzy yarn. You can just break it, it doesn't hurt. Just tighten it up. And take this little thing off. There we go. And next I'm going to make the comb. But yeah, if y'all would like for me to tag the pattern in the bottom of this live, comment down below whenever I upload it, and I will be glad to send it to you. Because I want to give the original artist full credit. I don't want to put a tutorial on here and take away from that, because it looked like she worked pretty hard on it, because it's very cute. She put a lot of thought into it. Or he. I don't know if it's a he or a she that made it. Okay. I'm going to put this aside for a little bit. Uh-oh. Oopsie. There we go. Right, you know what? I'm going to set that aside. All And this only takes like less than a minute. One second. Just going to do that. And yeah, the combs take no time at all to make. You just give yourself a little slack to sew it on. Grab it, pull. And so we have this part, and we have this part. Now I just gotta sew on the face. Let me grab the yarns for it real quick. Just one moment. There we go. Okay. Grab some yellow. Got the yellow and some black. All right. So I don't want to walk around with a whole ball of yellow yarn, so let me get that just enough to make one, just to show y'all. We'll cut that off real quick. So you got some yellow. And let me get some of the black yarn for the eyes. I don't know what's up with my black yarn, but it is a tangled up mess. Look at this mess. Does anybody else's yarn gets like this? Like you cannot find the end of it? Oh my goodness. Especially this one. I use it so much. I think it just looks pitiful. There we go. All right. We got the yellow. We got the black. Let's see. And that's all good. Let's see. Okay. I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to show y'all a little bit of a tip on how to do this if you can't find your tapestry needle. So, all right, let me move the comb aside because we're going to do that at the last part. All right. Let me make the beak. Hold that part. I'm going to get right in the middle. All right. So what you do to find the middle, I'll do at least this much. I get right here in this stitch, and then whoop, 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 almost lost it, this stitch. And then I kind of go down and try to hold the stitches even because that's how you're going to sew. You're going to go through both sides of the chicken plushie part. And go down, down. And you want to find the very end because that's the last stitch you're going to make whenever you sew it together. And want to leave plenty of room for the eyes and beak. I like to make the beak wide enough to where you can see it good. Okay. So if you don't have your tapestry needle, You just loop it on there and pull it through both stitches. And let's see, I think that's going to be good enough. Sometimes it needs to be double, but yeah, I think I'm going to double it. So I'll pull it through a little bit. And then I'll go through this one again. All right, something didn't work here. There we go. That. I'll go through it again. Well, I think what I'm going to do, instead of looping through it again, I'm going to take it like this, go across. And this is exactly how I would sew on like faces and features and stuff before I had the full tapestry needle and stuff kit. Sometimes this stuff is good to know, I think. And not everybody has the whole full kit, especially when you're first learning. You don't want to get everything involving that hobby. So that, I'll use this to grab it and pull it to the inside where no one can see. And you just work that where I double knotted it to the back and just kind of finagle with it, adjust it to where you looks like how you want it to look. I'll take this and I'll pull it on through, and I will trim this up later. But right now I'll just put it there, and there's the beak. Isn't that cute? Just going to adjust it a little bit. Oh, that's so adorable. And I'm going to get the black and start the eyes. There we go. I like to loop through the eyes a couple of times to make sure they can be seen, especially with this kind of salt and pepper colored yarn. You want it to pop out good. Yarn. Pull it through. And don't do the eyes too tight, because if you put too much tension between them, it'll make this part pull together really tight, and then the eyes will kind of sink into the yarn. And you don't want that, because you can definitely tell that it looks extremely tense. And you can't really see the eyes good, especially against the fuzzy yarn. There we go. And pull that through one more time. Uh-oh, lost it. Hang on. Try that one again. All right, and I like to kind of adjust it to where you can see them good. They still kind of fade in there, but I promise in person you can see it a lot easier. Okay, there's the little eyes. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. Put all the yarn in there. Well, first I gotta tie it. Okay, yeah, here's what I mean. Don't tie it too tight together. Because like I said, you can see on the outside the tension. So I'm not really sharing the whole pattern, but at least give you some tips if you ever buy this pattern on Etsy. Or really any other pattern. I think with any plushie you crochet and sew on the face yourself. That's a good tip. Don't tie it so tight to where it kind of pulls the features into the yarn so hard that you can't even tell that it's there. All right, and I'm gonna come. All right, there's the start of the little guy. Now we got to get some stuffing in it, sew it up, and add the little comb on top. Right there. That's kind of what they slightly looks like. Let me get some of the stuffing right behind me. That should be plenty. All right. Go and get some stuffing, get nice and fluffy. And I kind of like to take, when you buy the stuffing, it kind of comes in clumps. Just kind of take it and pull it a little bit. Don't pull it completely apart, but you can kind of see like the bigger chunks in there. Take that and pull it a little bit. For one, it makes the stuffing go further, and two, it gives it a little bit extra softness. Just kind of go through it and rub the harder clumps in it out. And put it in there. And you don't want to overstuff it because it can poke out of the stitches like that, or kind of out when you sew it. So just give it a little bit of pressure on the top. I'm just going to add a little bit more because you want it to hold its shape, but also you don't want it to be so full that you can see the stuffing fuzz coming out of it. I think I'm going to pull some out. I think that's a little too much. All right, kind of get it in there because you can adjust it later, but you want it out of the way when you sew it together. All right, I think that's going to be perfect. Kind of test it out. All good. And we'll sew it together. So what are y'all doing today? I've been on here chatting. Y'all working on anything in particular, or you're just kind of sitting and watching? Because believe it or not, I watch videos like this whenever I'm working on stuff. I think it's kind of a good motivator. There we go. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking very beginning of June, maybe even late May. I can do a live of the ducks hatching out of their eggs. I think that's going to be cool. I've always wanted to do that, but usually the room we have the incubator in, there's a lot of foot traffic and stuff, and anytime I film my videos, I try to make sure it's kind of quieter, it's out of the way, because I do the filming of myself, usually of me or my animals talking or doing stuff. I don't really film my family too much. So that's why most things are in my office, but I do have an incubator in my office now, so I can do that. There we go, sewed it up. And usually whenever I work on a plushie, I don't want to do like a big knot right out where you can see it. What I do is that I hold a loop with one finger and then take the end and pull it through that loop and tighten it up, and it usually works out perfect. And I think I can do one more knot and hide it good. So I think I'm going to wrap it around, pull it, tighten it. Go through, and I'm going to hide this yarn real quick. Shorten the length on it so it's easier to hide. There we go. Oh, it's going to be adorable. And then I'm going to take the comb, kind of adjust it, fluff it, all that good stuff. And I try to find a good little spot. And I think that's going to be right about there. So back here, I kind of find the stitch where I pull it through to hold it steady. Which I think it's going to be right about here. And that's why I leave plenty of slack, because I can kind of sew around it and make it bigger or more sturdy on the bottom. It gives you room to work with. Get that piece out of the way. I'm getting that stitch right there. There we go. Through. Almost done. And I don't think I'm going to have to adjust it on the bottom too much. It looks like it's turned out pretty good. Just going to do a little bit in the front. Kind of pull it down just a little bit. Go. And then what I like to do is I like to take this piece I've been working with up here, and I'll pull it back to this part and double knot it, and then kind of sew it into the chicken where you can't see it. There we go. Got it. Man, that's not want to come through easy. Adjust it a little bit. Loosen the tension on it just a bit. That down. Almost done, guys. Alright, and I'm going to hide. I like to get as close as I can to the comb to pull these strings to, so it doesn't show up as bad. Seems like I keep getting hung on stuff. There we go. I'm going to shorten this a little bit so it's easier to hide. Go. Go with it. Alright, see how I kind of don't really like how this looks? So I'm going to adjust it a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew it through here a little bit to get this to come down a little bit. Let's see how we're going to do this. Or I can just start over. Let's pull that out. I don't know what happened. It usually doesn't give me this much difficulty. Leave it to YouTube, I think. Every time it seems like I try to do live, I'm making something that I can easily make in my sleep. All of a sudden, I have difficulty doing it whenever I'm trying to film it. Does anybody else have that problem? It's like as soon as you turn the camera on, suddenly all your skill and ability goes out the window. Because I have done this so many times. I've made so many of these, it's not even funny. But I turn the camera on and suddenly it doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Anybody else to relate to that? By the way, I know a lot of people just sit and watch, but if y'all want to chat in the bottom, I welcome it. Just keep it cordial. Is all I ask. Yeah. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sew it up into this comb. To heck with trying to sew it into the chicken for some reason. It's not wanting to cooperate. What you can do. Let's see, I'm grabbing my scissors. I'll grab them real quick. They're at the very bottom of this drawer. I'm going to cut the ends off and oops. All right. Gosh, I don't know what's wrong with me. But I know I set my scissors right by my project and they are gone. All right. Use this. Be very careful if you ever use these. Because even the ones from Dollar General can be very sharp. But for some reason, I cannot find my scissors. I know I had them sitting on my desk just for this purpose. Probably my cat knocked them over. We got. Now, I kind of tuck the ends in a little bit. Move it around. Adjust. Get it all fluffed. And there it is. So if y'all are interested in seeing the pattern for it, I know the person who makes it, and I want to make sure to give them credit. So let me know and I can send the pattern to it. I think it usually is on sale very often. So, and even then it's not very expensive, and you can buy it once and you can make a bajillion of them from the same pattern in multiple different colors and kind of change it up a little bit. And they're very cute, and it's been one of my best sellers. So here it is, the little Domnecker chicken. And they're very fluffy. Anyway, if that's it and nobody has any questions, down in the chat down below, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. And if y'all like crafting crochet content mixed with a little bit of chicken / small farm life, y'all subscribe and check out my channel. That's what I make, is shorts and lives mostly. And occasionally I try to bring up some crochet tutorials or things like that if I can think of something that I think y'all are interested in. So feel free to comment, ask questions, let me know what y'all would like to see more of. I'm very open to listen, and I try to answer every single comment. But hi, my name's Cloudy. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.